Yo, what's good people? So, last night I made the top 10 skill champions in a game, and I'm going to do the cosmic class. Now, again, keep in mind, I am a filthy meta rat, so this is going to be heavily battlegrounds biased, but I am taking every content available in-game into consideration for these rankings as well. So, war, story content, everything, they're just going to be heavy battlegrounds biased. So I have to talk about a few honorable mentions for the cosmic class before I start talking about the top 10. This class is so stacked, there's so many OP champions in there and some great champions I had to leave off the list. The first one I need to mention is Venom. Where are you, buddy? Here you are. Now, when 7 stars first came out, Venom was on top of the world. He had a massive resurgence. We barely see anyone use him nowadays. He's still got great damage, decent utility with the access to buffs, bleeds, and shutting down Spider-Verse champions. However, you just don't see as many people use him nowadays, so he definitely does not deserve a spot in the top 10 in my opinion. And the next three champions are champions that are extremely close to making the list. These are fantastic champions, I need to stress that, very OP. So Medusa, insane damage, poison immunity, counters evade, obviously she has access to armor break. Just a fantastic champion all round, and if this was a top 15 list, she would definitely be on the list, but unfortunately only 10 champions can be on the list, and Medusa just doesn't make the cut. But she is really great. The cosmic class is just that good, to the point where I have to leave a great champion like Medusa off there. Okay, now Hyperion. Of course, with the skip special free button available in Battlegrounds, he is even stronger for that now, but he's still RNG, he's still unreliable, he still relies on landing those heavy attacks, so you can't completely rely on Hyperion being great. When you get good RNG, he can be a top 5 cosmic, but a lot of the time you're not going to get that RNG, so I don't think he deserves a spot on the top 10 when there's so many great champions. And now the biggest exclusion off the list is the 6 star Hulkling. Now, the reason Hulkling does not make the list, he's still a great champion. However, he's built for battleground sized health pools, but obviously with there being 7 star rank 4s, he just does not kill defenders within his loop anymore. He does not nuke 7 star rank 4s or even big health pool 7 star rank 3s within his special 2 loop. So the one thing he's meant to be best for, which is battlegrounds, he is not nearly as good for nowadays. Of course, when he gets released as a 7 star, I'm sure he'll shoot back into the meta and he will be in the top 5, if not top 3, very easily. Great defender as well, lots of utility, lots of damage. But those are the honorable mentions, and now we're moving on to the actual top 10. So at the number 10 spot is, where are you now? Where are you? A champion I have a lot of history with. The video I made on this champion has one of the most views on my channel. I'm trying to find him. Why the hell can I not find him, bro? Here you are, Odin. Now you might be saying Odin over Hulkling. Yes, as a 7 star, Odin is better than 6 star Hulkling. He destroys long form content. He has some of the best damage in the game. Basically his SB2 damage, it scales with the opponent's health pool, so the bigger the opponent's health pool, the bigger his special 2 damage is. You can get like 500k special 2s off this guy. It is ridiculous, but his damage is also great in short fights as well. Very underrated champion for battlegrounds, extremely tanky, with that armor up, can block attacks for days. He has one of the best true strike mechanics in the entire game. All you need to do is throw your special 1 to activate your true strike, and it stays paused when you're close to the opponent, so he can shut off the opponent's evade and auto block for the entire match. His utility is great, his damage is great. I don't care what you say, Odin is the top 10 cosmic, at least for now, at least until some of the more OP cosmic champions get released as a 7 star. He's here to stay, and I think people have stopped sleeping on Odin, a majority of people, but there's still plenty of people who underestimate this guy. So go check out the videos I made on him. They're old, but they're still very relevant, still very good, if you don't believe me when I say how OP Odin is. Okay, now for the number 9 spot. My favourite champion in the game, Nova. Now, you can tell this is not a biased list by this placement, because if it was, Nova would be number 1. But I'm placing him at the number 9 spot. He needs high sig. The higher the sig, the more damage he does, but he is worth the investment in my opinion. His utility has always been very underrated. He has those non-contact medium attacks, which lets him ignore Thorns damage like a Tumor, like Electro, anything like that. He also has a great access to True Strike. Just use your special one, and you've got it, bro. You counter evade and auto block. He also auto blocks when being intercepted, so he has a very nice safety net. He has that power gain, so he can work for stuff like polka dot power or anything like that. Access to unblockable. Decent defender, far from the best defender. He's one of those defenders where you can pretty much take him with anybody, but it's easy to mess up to him. He is just a great all-round champion. Some of the best damage in the game. When for battlegrounds health pools, yeah, some of the best damage in the game for BG health pools. Insanely quick to ramp up. All you need to do is dash at the opponent. That's pretty much it. You don't even need to focus on building up his furies, because most of his damage just comes from that signature ability dashing mechanic. So yeah, Nova well deserving of the number 9 spot. Again, if you don't believe me, check out the many videos that I've made on this guy. There may be another one coming soon, because I just took mine to rank 4 on my main account recently. So expect a rank 4 Nova showcase at some point in the future. Okay, now we're moving on to the number 8 spot, and if this champion was available as a 7-star, he would be much higher, CGR. Now CGR damage, even as a 6-star, is still better than 95% of 7-star rank 4s in the entire game. So why is he still lower on the list? Well, his playstyle, because you can't dex with this guy if you want to access his full damage potential. In battlegrounds fights, I mean, you can go to the special 3 in longer fights, but for like battlegrounds health pools, you cannot dex with this guy, and it's becoming increasingly more difficult to actually use CGR against champions like 7-star rank 3s, 7-star rank 4s. His damage is not the problem, it's just you can't dex with this guy, so you're going to end up taking a bunch of block damage. Like, on top of some of the very best damage in the game, even as a 6-star, his utility is still insane. Bleed immunity, incinerate immunity, has access to nullify with his damnation, a bit of power control mixed in there. Just, we all know how good CGR is, do I really need to tell you? Yeah, I think he deserves the number 8 spot. I can't put him any higher than this until he releases as a 7-star, but just know, he's still insane. If you don't have your 6-star ranked, he's still worth ranking as a 6-star, because his damage is that goddamn good. Okay, now I'm moving on to the number 7 spot. CGR was number 8, now moving on to the number 7 spot. I'm pretty sure I said CGR was number 7, I don't know, bro, but basically CGR was number 8, now I'm moving on to the number 7 spot, my bad boys. And that will be another champion that is primarily focused on armor breaks, and one of my first rank 4 7-stars, Knull. Now, Knull's defensive potential has died down recently with how many nukes have been released. You know, he's not as strong as a defender as he was a couple of months ago, but he's still really solid on defense, and he's still great on attack. You know, he has bleed and poison resistance, so he heals off suicides, degeneration resistance, so he's great for champions like Kindred, stuff like that. For some reason, you know, a cosmic champion that has degeneration resistance is pretty stupid if you ask me, but I'm not complaining because I love Knull. You know, Knull as a champion goes against the cosmic class because he doesn't rely on buffs, and he just has many abilities that a normal cosmic champion would not have. The only cosmic thing about him is his reliance on armor breaks. You know, if you can't armor break the opponent, then he's useless. Don't use him, obviously. But as long as you can armor break the opponent, whether it's long form content, short form content, his damage is fantastic. Of course, he's more of a ramp up champion, but he can still get down battlegrounds health pools extremely fast. He even has regeneration in his base kit, not just from suicides. You get really good regeneration off that special one. And also, he reduces the opponent's combat power rate, so he has pretty decent power control. Knull's power control is actually stronger than a lot of people think it is, because once you get that corruption going, it's really easy to keep the fight flow going without your opponent throwing many special attacks at all. So I think Knull, well deserving of the number 7 spot. Great dual use for battlegrounds, great in pretty much every aspect of the game. You don't see him used much in war, however you see him placed on Alliance War defense pretty much every season, and he still gets plenty of kills, bro. So yeah, Knull, the number 7 spot. And now for the number 6 spot, we have a champion I do not have as a 7-star, and that is Galan. Now, Galan is stupid because he's Nullify immune. A fucking cosmic champion should not be immune to Nullify. But at this point, we've all gotten used to it because Galan has been out for like, what, 2 years at this point? Which is crazy to say, god damn. Now I'm feeling old, bro. Now I truly am feeling like an unk. But of course, Galan, he's not the nukiest champion in the game. But being Nullify immune, the only cosmic champion which is truly Nullify immune. The fact that his damage cannot be modified, so you can use him against champions that reduce your damage like Yelena or stuff like that. He just has insane utility, and that harvest just gets around so many different champions kits like Yelena, Thing's Protection, Photon in Battlegrounds. She reduces your attack rating with the Inequity Mastery, but not Galan. The harvest isn't affected by that. So yeah, he just gets around a lot of stuff with his harvest. Of course, he destroys anything with armor. We all know that. If you have armor and your Galan is awakened, he's pretty much the fastest champion in the game. But even without that, his damage is still very, very solid. And yeah, of course, Galan is the number 6 spot. Okay, now we're moving on to the top 5. And I wasn't sure if I even wanted to put this champion on a list because I hate her. And she's stupid, and whoever made her, I hate them as well, and they should just delete this champion from the game. And why does she exist? Why hasn't she been nerfed yet? Obviously, I'm talking about the emo bitch, Dark Phoenix. I mean, she's okay on attack, she counters Zola, stuff like that, but like, bro, obviously the reason she's on the list is for her insane defensive prowess, not because she's a well-designed defender, not because she's a good defender, because she does flipping unavoidable damage to you, because haha, fuck you. Is there any more that needs to be said? Basically, please delete Dark Phoenix. I hate her. I hate the fact that I even have to put her on the list. She's just the most BS defender in the entire game, along with Captain Britain. Captain Britain is just as bad, but I'll get to her in the mutant list. So yeah, I figured I had to put her in the top 5, but I ain't going any higher than the number 5th spot because I just hate this champion. I don't like her. Please delete her from the game. So yeah, okay, now we're moving on to spot number 4, and the top 4 spots are very debatable. You could switch any of these out and make an argument for them, but the number 4 spot, I am putting the Cosmic Rainbow Chick, Mrs. LGBTQ+ herself, Karolina Dean. Not only is her damage obviously insane, like most cosmic champions, she has insane damage. I mean, I'm sick of saying that by now, but like, it's true. Most cosmic champions do very good damage. What makes her utility so great is that glancing buff she gains, because that glancing buff just, it lets you take no block damage, even against champions like Yelena, Serpent, Photon, and that glancing buff alone just lets her counter so many annoying defenders. She's got great power gain, unblockable specials. I think she's definitely in the number 4 spot. Like I said, the top 4 are debatable, but I think the next 3 champions are definitely better than Karolina. A lot of people are worried that she will get nerfed. I don't think she'll get nerfed personally, but hey, I may be wrong. But yeah, Karolina at number 4. Great champion, of course. So, top 3 time now, and through the process of elimination, you can probably guess who the top 3 are. At the number 3 spot, I'm putting Cull Obsidian. Now, of course, if this was a attacker only list, Cull Obsidian could be in the number 1 spot, because I know we said we don't have a 7-star CGR. He is basically 7-star CGR. That's literally what he is. Just with different utility. Instead of Incinerate, Bleed Immunity, and Power Lock, he has... Is it True Focus or True Accuracy? It's one of the two, but he counters Evade. Which one is it? It's True Accuracy, so yeah. He counters Evade and Auto Block. And he just gets this at the start of the match. You don't even have to do anything, bro. You literally just get it because, haha, he can parry non-contact attacks, so it's a great counter to Zola. But like I mentioned with Okoye in my top 10 skill champions video, damage is by far the best utility with this guy. This guy's damage is off the fucking charts. Like, honestly, I think he's too strong. I don't think Kabam should nerf him because, like, he's one of those champions most players had the opportunity to get for free, apart from me because I was on hiatus from the game at that time. However, he is too strong, but it is what it is. At least he's not any good on defense, you know, so that's the only thing keeping him in the number 3 spot right now. Okay, so for the top 2 cosmic champions, obviously it's between Deathless Thanos and Serpent. And this was very tricky to decide between. Very tricky. I had to actually think about this for a good 10-20 minutes. And I think Thanos is in the number 2 spot. You could honestly switch these two out. You can make arguments for both. But I think Thanos is in the number 2 spot. To get his full damage potential, he does rely on debuffs with the Armor Shatter, Armor Break. When you can place that on the opponent, his damage is insane though. Even if you can't place the Armor Shatter on the opponent, when you build up his Furies, his damage is still pretty damn good. He has damage over time with the Corrosion. Of course, he has the Counter Punch charges, so you can just counter your opponent when they hit into your block. We all know how Deathless Thanos works because most people in the game has this champion. Of course, he's one of the tankiest defenders in the game, and he's one of the best defenders in high tier battlegrounds just because he's a guaranteed stall. You know, it's pretty much a guaranteed 60-second fight when you place this guy on defense, which is phenomenal for high tier battlegrounds. But yeah, obviously insane attacker, insane defender, well deserves the top 2 spot or possibly the number 1 spot. It depends on who you ask, but despite my hatred, despite how much I despise this champion and think he should have got nerfed, I do think Serpent is probably the best cosmic champion in the game. He's great for long form content, and his damage is pretty underrated in short fights as well. Yes, you do need to throw a couple of special attacks before you start doing decent damage, but once you do that, his damage is insane. He counters miss and auto block. He's one of the tankiest champions in the game. He has that death immunity as a safety net with insane regeneration, so like he's a great quester. He's great for Alliance War, great for Battlegrounds, great for everything. Literally, you name a piece of content, Serpent cooks it. Despite looking like a evil version of Karate Mike, he is OP. But he should have got nerfed because, yeah, he is dumb. He's way too strong on defense. He is basically what kicked off the Battlegrounds crisis, in my opinion, because after Serpent got released, that's when all the BS started with Battlegrounds. That's when Kabam started releasing a bunch more unfair BS defenders over, low battery, over actually well-designed defenders that are tricky to fight, but you can take with a majority of champions in the game, like Onslaught, Photon, etc. So basically, I hate Serpent, but he is the best cosmic champion in the game in my opinion. But that is going to be the end of the list, fellas. I tried to keep it as short and sweet as possible whilst going in depth as I can. Let me know in the comments why I'm an idiot and why I should never make a top 10 list again. If you want to support the channel, leave a like, sub, tell Kabam to give me a goddamn CCP code because apparently they hate me and they won't give me one. But yeah. That's it, fellas. I will see you all in the next video, which won't be until Monday because I'm going on a little break. I'm going to touch some grass and probably work on some other videos outside of MCOC because I have been procrastinating hard on that. But yeah, that's it from me. See you all in the next video.